situation. Always trust your gut. Stay paranoid.
Hello, my name is Chrissy Champagne. You are listening to Residue, a true crime podcast dedicated to keeping you paranoid. Residue is not just another true crime podcast, but a necessary tool for those who want to understand the dangers lurking in the real world. You are listening to episode 73. This is the story of Cheyenne Clough. This is a story about mean girls that thrive on power, using manipulation and cruelty to control those around them. As always, listener discretion is advised. On an early school day morning, as the sun began to rise over Crow Springs County Park, a little girl on her way to school made a discovery that would forever change this town. Walking through the dew-covered grass, this little girl found Cheyenne Clough. The little girl freezes, staring at Cheyenne. Cheyenne's body is covered in gunshot wounds, but she is still breathing. Cheyenne Clough was born April 4th, 1997. Cheyenne was a resident of Buffalo, Minnesota. At 19 years old, Cheyenne was a single mother of a 3-year-old boy. Cheyenne's friend Kayla said, "Cheyenne is the light in a dark room. She'll tell you how it is, and that's my favorite thing about her. She makes you laugh when you feel like screaming, and when you need a friend, she's never too far away." On this early morning, Cheyenne is rushed to the hospital. Investigators immediately start putting the pieces to this puzzle together. After Cheyenne arrives at the hospital, she is then airlifted to a trauma center. Investigators are immediately speaking to Cheyenne's friends and family. And they quickly learn that in this small town of Buffalo, Minnesota, everyone knew everyone. Investigators start with Cheyenne's best friends, and they learn that Cheyenne didn't have the easiest time in high school. At the top of the high school hierarchy were the Preppies, the girls who ruled the school with their shiny new cars, designer clothes, and a sharp eye for anyone who didn't fit their perfect mold. The popular crowd made it clear who belonged and who didn't, and they used their status to pick apart anyone that they saw as different. Their world was built on judgment, and Cheyenne Clough was not a part of the preppy elite, but she wasn't an outsider either. She floated somewhere in the middle, friends with everyone, but never desperate for the spotlight. Her laid-back nature and easy smile made her likable, though the Preppies never missed a chance to remind Cheyenne that she wasn't like them. This group of girls teased her non-stop about her weight, her hair, and her eczema. They called her hamburger head and snakeskin. These cruel names constantly being yelled at Cheyenne as she walked down the hall. And, it stung for a while. A lot. But Cheyenne was a badass. She's not going to take this shit from these girls. And even though at first it was embarrassing and it made her a little insecure, she decided to fight back. She's not going to put up with these taunts. She started snapping back. And these little preppy bitches, they were so used to people just letting them do whatever they want, letting them walk all over them. But now Cheyenne is fighting back and she's not afraid anymore. And it starts to feel like the tables are starting to turn. They're starting to back off of her now because she's not going to play. Cheyenne had a great group of friends. It's all about quality, not quantity, my friends. Her loyalty to her small group of friends grew stronger and stronger, and Cheyenne starts feeling empowered. She didn't need to be popular. She just needed to be real, the way we should all be in life. But things take an unexpected turn when, at just 15 years old, Cheyenne finds out that she is pregnant. For some, the news would have been overwhelming, but Cheyenne felt a sense of excitement. She was going to be a mom, and despite the odds stacked against her, she was ready. But the Preppies, they just saw this as another chance to mock her. Pregnant at 15, they whispered behind her back, and on social media, don't even get me started, they were exploding with the cruelest comments and judgment, and no one believed that Cheyenne could handle this. The girls who once bullied her for her appearance now turned their bullying towards Cheyenne's future, using her pregnancy as their latest ammunition. Now, Cheyenne is going through it. And to make matters even worse, her boyfriend, the father of her baby, decides that this isn't going to work. He's too young. Bye. Leave Cheyenne. And this doesn't end here. So not only is she now having trouble with all of the girls in school, with her boyfriend, she is pregnant. Now she's having a bunch of disagreements with her mother at home. They're having constant disagreements about how to raise this baby. And her mother believed that Cheyenne was too young to be a mother. 15 is very young. She didn't think Cheyenne was ready. And that created a huge rift between the two of them that just couldn't be ignored. I mean, the tension was just unreal. And Cheyenne decided that she would start a new chapter in her life. She would move away from home and her child would stay with her mother. Her mother would raise her baby boy. Cheyenne moves to Maple Lake, and it wasn't easy to escape the rumors and the expectations of others. The judgment was still always lurking, but Cheyenne was determined to surround herself with people who loved her. And she thought she found that type of family vibe, that type of friendship, when she moved in to a house in Maple Lake with 33-year-old Natasha Brandenburger and 19-year-old Callie Anderson. These two women were not the only people living in this house, though. Natasha's boyfriend, Justin Jensen, age 28, was also there, and then Callie's boyfriend, Sean Benson, 21, was also living in the house. Cheyenne felt like she found a new family. The three women, along with their boyfriends, shared this house, and for the first time in a long time, Cheyenne felt safe. She felt supported. She felt like she finally belonged. She finally found her people. Her roommate, Callie Anderson, was a 19-year-old who didn't have a job, and by all accounts, Callie craved male attention. And Natasha, the 33-year-old, was a nurse and a tattoo artist. Natasha's boyfriend, Justin, was the self-proclaimed ruler of this house. Everyone had to do what Justin said. Justin was the boss. And having someone self-proclaim themselves the boss of your house that you just moved into, it probably isn't going to make for the greatest situation. And pretty soon, Cheyenne, being the only single one in the home, finds a boyfriend. This guy's name is Devin Boyle. And the relationship between Cheyenne and Devin, it grows stronger. But there were very troubling signs when it came to Devin. Devin had a violent streak, and this is one that he tried to keep hidden. And Cheyenne tried to keep his violent tendencies hidden, but she finally broke down and told some of her friends. She also confided in Natasha and Callie about Devin's abusive behavior. But Natasha and Callie, they didn't like Devin. They couldn't understand why Cheyenne was with him. And they also didn't like the fact that Devin was in their home nonstop, and it was causing some tension. The roommates started to notice that Cheyenne was different. She was changing. They saw her spending more time with Devin. And the more time Cheyenne started spending with her boyfriend, the more the roommates started resenting her. This whole situation gets out of control. So before Devin came along, these girls and their boyfriends were able to sort of bully Cheyenne, take advantage of her, have her do things for them. She was the youngest one in the home, and she wasn't really a part of the group. She came into this already tight-knit group, and now that she has a boyfriend there, the roommates are getting kind of pissed because Cheyenne's never around. She doesn't do what they want her to do anymore. And that all erupts one night when Callie, who had a warrant out for her arrest, Cheyenne knew about the warrant, but they tried to keep it a secret. They didn't want Devin to know. But I mean, obviously Cheyenne's going to tell her boyfriend about it. At this point, the warrant is for assault. Callie was in jail for assault, but she was out on bail and she missed her bail hearing. So she was basically hiding out in this house, trying to keep it on the down low so that she wasn't going to get arrested. But Callie wasn't really keeping it on the down low. Callie had this little scam that she was pulling on men. So she joined a dating app. She would set up these dates with men on the app. And then when she would meet with them, she would take their money and run. Now she wanted Cheyenne to get on in this scam with her, because if Cheyenne could do it too, now this house is going to be making a ton of money if Cheyenne and Callie get on the app, meet some men, and steal their money. Sounds like a wonderful house to live in. So Devin finds out that Callie asked Cheyenne to do this. Cheyenne said no. She didn't want to be a part of this, and Callie got pissed. Because now, not only does Cheyenne and Devin know that Callie has a warrant out, but they also know that she's pulling this scam on men. When Cheyenne says no to this, Callie starts bullying the hell out of Cheyenne. Like Cheyenne didn't even want to be home anymore. And the bullying is becoming so relentless. They are just constantly berating her anytime she is in that house. It's reminding her of high school all over again. Cheyenne starts confiding in her friends back home, her high school friends, that she can't handle this anymore. Natasha and Callie are so mean. This is now causing Cheyenne to hang out with Devin even more. It's pushing her into Devin's arms even more, and he's not the greatest guy on earth either at this point. So she's getting just constantly bullied from every possible angle in her life. On May 31st, 2016, the day before Cheyenne's body is found in that park, Cheyenne's boyfriend Devin Boyles is arrested at the Maple Lake house by bounty hunters at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and Cheyenne was with him. And to make matters crazier, one of the bounty hunters was Cheyenne's ex-boyfriend, Darian. With tensions being as high as they were in that house, Cheyenne immediately suspects Callie and Natasha of calling the bounty hunters and giving them the address as to where Devin was. After Devin's arrest, on June 1st, 2016, the very next morning, is when Cheyenne's body is found in the park. Her body is found with bullet holes in her back and in her head. As police start canvassing the neighborhood around the park, they find out that residents did hear a woman screaming and gunshots around 3 a.m, and nobody called police to report this. Police also find out that Cheyenne's mother received a voicemail at 2:45 a.m. from Cheyenne. It said that she was on her way home and she would be there soon. She did not say who was driving her home. Investigators go straight to the Maple Lake house, but the house is completely vacant and it looks deserted, like whoever had been inside left in a hurry. Inside of the home, police found a shell casing for a .22 on the ground. They also found Natasha's ID, so they put a be on the lookout for Natasha and Justin. Cheyenne's close-knit group from high school tells police that Natasha and Callie were mean girls. They were horrible to Cheyenne. So police are on the lookout for Natasha, Callie, Justin, and Sean. On June 3rd, 2016, just 2 days after finding Cheyenne's body, a vehicle associated with Natasha Brandenburger was spotted. It was a Chrysler 300. It was captured on surveillance footage at a local gas station. And this discovery led police to a crucial realization. Natasha and her boyfriend Justin, they were traveling in a separate vehicle from Callie, Sean, and another unidentified man. They were also accompanied by a dog. As the investigation progressed, authorities learned that Justin had posted a photo on Facebook, sitting on a couch with a stack of cash in one hand and a gun in the other. And that was a really smart thing for Justin to do, so now police are just alarmed. And with this new evidence, the police speculated that obviously this group is on the run and they're likely headed toward International Falls. This was a small town on the Canadian border. Fearing that this group is going to flee across the border, police quickly shifted their focus. Now, they're racing against time to track these two cars down before they could escape the country. On June 4th, 2016, 4 days after the shooting, Cheyenne Clough was taken off of life support. Her family and friends gathered around her bedside, tears streaming down their faces as they shared memories of her. Friends said that they all laughed through their grief and they expressed their love one final time. The room was filled with this overwhelming sense of loss as they said their goodbyes. And her son, just a 3-year-old baby, would now have to grow up without the woman who had dreamed of raising him. That very same day, Sean Benson, Justin Jensen, Natasha Brandenburger, and Callie Anderson, along with another man named Edward Zelko, were all arrested. On June 5th, 2016, Callie Anderson was the first to be interrogated, and she was questioned about the events leading up to Cheyenne Clough's death. She claimed that the last time she saw Cheyenne was the night before they left for International Falls. According to Callie, an argument had erupted between Cheyenne and Natasha over Devon's arrest. Cheyenne was convinced that Natasha had called the bounty hunters on Devon, and when the tension boiled over, Natasha allegedly told Cheyenne to leave the house. Callie echoed Natasha's sentiments. She told Cheyenne to pack her shit up and go, and after that, Callie insisted she didn't know anything else, and she requested an attorney. The next person up was Natasha, and when asked if she knew why she was there, she coldly responded, "You want to know about Cheyenne?" And then with a heavy sigh, she stated she was killed, and added that she no longer wanted to be blamed for what had happened. It was then that she agreed to talk. Natasha says that at 1 a.m., Cheyenne and Callie and Natasha all argued, and Callie and Natasha told Cheyenne to leave. She says Cheyenne was getting disrespectful. Natasha said that she will call the cops on Cheyenne if she does not calm down. And Cheyenne says, well, if you call the cops on me, I will turn around and call the cops on Callie, and I will turn her in. And now Callie starts arguing with Cheyenne. Cheyenne starts to leave the house and makes a smart comment. Now, these are Natasha's words. So Natasha grabs Cheyenne by the back of her head by her hoodie and starts fighting her. It's at this point that Justin, Natasha's boyfriend, comes home, stops the fight, and then Justin says Cheyenne needs to go. And Justin tells Natasha to go get his gun. And she goes and gets his gun. Then they all leave. Justin, Sean, and Eddie Velko get into one car. Justin said Cheyenne would get a ride home with them. So Cheyenne gets in the car with the 3 men. She calls her mom from the car at 2:45 a.m. That's when she tells her mother she is on her way home. But the boys get back to the house about a half an hour later. Sean says that he shot Cheyenne. Natasha blames Sean, Callie's boyfriend. All of the roommates now that are left in the house, we have Natasha, Callie, Justin, Sean, and their friend Eddie. They all go into Justin's bedroom, and that is when they all start talking about what happened that night in the park. Sean shot Cheyenne in the back, and Cheyenne started running, so Eddie grabbed her. And Natasha says that She was at home. She wasn't there. She didn't see any of this. This is just what she heard. She is crying during this entire interview. Justin says that he gave the order to Eddie and Sean because Cheyenne was too much trouble. She was too much to handle. She was going to talk, and they couldn't stop her. After Natasha's confession, Justin, Sean, and Eddie all pleaded guilty. Natasha became a key witness, and all three men were sentenced to 3 to 40 years in prison. Natasha and Callie avoided all charges. Cheyenne's family and friends believe that Natasha was the mastermind, not Justin. Was Natasha the queen bee of that house? Mean girls thrive on power. Mean girls are cruel and manipulative. Why was a 33-year-old woman living with 2 19-year-old girls? Did this mean girl's mentality cross a line? Cheyenne encountered many mean girls throughout her life, but she also had a very loving, close-knit group of friends. I want to leave you with the words from Kayla Zwart, one of Cheyenne's closest friends. Cheyenne is the light in a dark room. She'll tell you how it is, and that's my favorite thing about her. She makes you laugh when you feel like screaming, and when you need a friend, she's never too far away. I remember the day she had her son, Elijah. It was blizzarding, but I had to be there when my best friend had her baby. She looked so happy and so in love. She was so good at being there when you needed her and holding your hand when you were scared. She was such a huge part of my life for such a long time, and I will never be able to tell her what that means to me, or be able to thank her for everything she has done for me. I love you, Cheyenne Lee. Raise some hell up there, baby girl. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Residue. I appreciate you all so very much. Residue is created, hosted, edited, researched, and produced by me, Chrissy Champagne. You can follow me on Instagram at Residue Podcast, on TikTok at Chrissy Champagne Residue Podcast, and on Facebook at Residue, a true crime podcast. And if you really wanted to help out the show, the best thing to do is leave a 5-star review. And if you do leave me a 5-star review, just DM me your review, your name, and I will send you some Residue stickers and a little thank you note. And don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. I cannot wait to hang out with you all again next week. And until then, I hope you stay safe and stay paranoid. Stay paranoid.